Today we're going to talk about Google Advanced Search Features to make our searching for important information much easier. So of course we're going to start with our Google icon. I will click it. I get to my Google homepage and I happen to like penguins. So I'm just going to type in penguins on my search bar. And this is what I get. I see some hockey pictures and stories. I see Pittsburgh Penguins. I see some pictures down here of penguins. So I say, well, you know, I want this search to be a little different. I'm not interested in this hockey setting. So I am going to go to my Settings tab right here. My drop-down menu comes up. I'm going to select Advanced Search. This tool will allow me to narrow my choices of what I'm looking for. So I can look here, find pages with penguins, if I wanted an exact word or phrase, which I do not. But then I can narrow my results by language, region, date. What I'm most interested here are two items, safe search and usage rights. Safe search shows default is that most relevant results will come up. I want to make sure that all explicit results are not showing. So I want to turn my safe search on. Usage rights. This is another tool in our Google search. It is called our licensing rights. Okay, our default, whenever we go to search for anything on Google, default, all things we see, they are not filtered by a license. So we may use information that is copyrighted. So I can click here on my drop-down menu and see different choices of how I can filter my search results. Of course, there is a Google page that describes each type of licensing rights, but I want to use ones that I am able to use or share or even modify to change. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to select share or modify and of course my safe search on. I'm going to click advanced search and see how my results look different. Okay, notice we don't see any hockey. We just see penguins. We learn some things about the word penguin. So these are two strategies with Google search, advanced filter and licensing rights. I want to talk about another tool that is called exclusion. Exclusion means when I don't want to have a particular word in with my search. So for instance, here I am with penguins. If I go now to say I don't want any information about animals, I only want what will come up with penguins. In my address bar here, I will space after the word, put in a minus sign, and then type the word that I want excluded. Notice there is no space, just minus animals. And then I am going to hit enter and see yet again how my search is modified, keeping in mind that we have already selected our licensing rights, that we can share this information, and that we have our safe filter on. So let's see what happens when I exclude the word animals. Okay, I see images here, but what I'm mainly seeing are what the word penguin means and our hockey team, Pittsburgh Penguins. So this is what I see when I exclude the word animals. Okay, another type of Google search strategy is our file type. Now you may say, what is a file type? Google, of course, has many file types. They have a list of all sorts of different file types. You can read, there's many different websites, this one is not the one that I was looking at, that lists how, just different types of files in terms of how to search for things more simply. Okay? So a file type that we are used to is PDF. This type of file focus allows any computer user to access this information and print it. It's called the portable document format. So something that I use in my life as just a adult are taxes. So if I search right here for tax forms, okay, I get these different things. Sometimes we get news, we get stories about tax forms. That's not what I want. I want to have tax forms that I can print. And right here, I have my tax forms publications. So using a file type allows us to, again, keep our search more simple and basically to take less time with our search. Okay, we've talked about those strategies. You'll see underneath our address bar, all, images, news, shopping, videos, more. If I just want news, let's just say I just want news on penguins. I click news, and I get news. Now, I didn't limit my results, so it could be the animal penguin or the hockey penguin. But one of my favorites here that I use quite often are images. Images, I find it so helpful working with students that, of course, most of them know what a penguin is, but some do not have the experience background that we as teachers do. So, for instance, teaching a lesson on erosion in Grand Canyon. I can type in Grand Canyon when some students haven't even heard of it, let alone many have not seen it. I can show them some pictures here, and this picture communicates 1,000 words, much better than I could describe the power of water and wind forming land masses. So that is another way to search with Google, is just for images. One last thing I'd like to show you is just on the home page of Google, and of course I'm in images now, so I just see the pictures. I want to go to Google homepage and I want to show these two boxes underneath the address bar here. Notice when I put my cursor on I'm feeling lucky, we have different choices. I'm feeling adventurous, I'm feeling stellar, I'm feeling adventurous. We just said that. They have all different ones. We are used to working with Google search. But now I'm going to use for an example, elementary schools in Turlock. If I just type it in like this, Google search, this is what I get. I get a map, I get addresses, I have access to websites and directions. But if I go back here to elementary schools in Turlock, I'm feeling lucky. If I just click on I'm feeling lucky instead of Google search, look what happens. It immediately takes me to the Turlock Unified School District website. So basically the I'm feeling lucky button allows us to get immediately to the first viable site. Okay, the first site that's not an ad, not a map, not a link to a website, but just to the actual school district website that allows us to go directly to the school, and we know that it is real and valid and not made up with false information because it's on this home page of the school district office. I hope that this has been helpful for you to learn some new tricks of the trade with our Google search, that we can really refine our search and have it take less time to get to the main information we're wanting if we can apply some of the filters that I've talked about today. Our advanced search filter, exclusion, file type, looking just for images, licensing rights, and our I'm Feeling Lucky button. Thank you for listening today.